Today on Homeschool Together, we're going to talk about the Build Your Library Prehistory Unit Study. This is a 6-week unit study that's Charlotte Mason inspired, as all the Build Your Library products are. This is a PDF curriculum targeted at ages 5 to 9. It includes copywork and dictation, living books, activities, and media. It sells for around $13. Each week's lesson is structured with reading from spines and individual books for the week. Then there's a series of vocab words, some fun hands-on activities, and some media to go along with the lessons. We think this is a great, simple prehistory overview for your secular learners that dovetails really well running into Build Your Library 1, which covers ancient civilizations, or any other ancient civilization study that you might do. This is heavier on early man and less so on dinosaurs and origin of the universe, but we still think it is a really great and pretty simple overview for your children. So let's get inside and take a look. So here we are with the prehistory unit study. We've printed it out and put it in one of these nice Clearview binders. So there's a little introduction about Build Your Library, and then we get into the great book list. We're going to show you a couple of the books in a minute, but basically this is going to give you the main required books that you'll be reading throughout the weeks. Some of these will be read every week and some of them only occasionally. And then here's a whole list of optional books that you can use. There's some great helpful links, a few notes, and an introduction to copywork and dictation, which is a really important part of Build Your Library in the Charlotte Mason style. So this is where you'll read through the passage with your child first on the first day of the week, and then they'll copy the passage. Then you'll go over those difficult words and have them write those words a few times. And then on the last day, you'll give the dictation assignment so that you'll read it out to them phrase by phrase and give them time to write. And then you can have them look at the original passage and see if they can check their own work. So they give a sample schedule of a couple of days a week, and we jump right into week 1. So we want to show you the structure of this. Basically, it's going to give you the main spine book here is the Usborne World History Encyclopedia, which I'll bring in now so you can see. This is the main spine. This is a really terrific book to have because this is something that you're going to stick with from prehistory all the way through to modern times. And if you are planning on continuing with Build Your Library, this is a great thing to take advantage of now because you can kind of get in that mode. So this is going to talk all about early life. It's going to talk all about first fish and go forward to life coming onto land. This gives just really terrific pictures. We really enjoyed this as a spine, and now that we're using it in Build Your Library 1, we're really enjoying this book. So this is the main spine, this Usborne Encyclopedia of World History, and it also has a bunch of internet links that you can use to go deeper with your learners, which we really enjoy. So that's going to be your main spine, and then there's a few specific books that are going to be read in different weeks, and there'll be some vocabulary words for each day, some activities that you can go through, and some media. So this is the way Build Your Library is always structured, where she'll give us a weekly overview, and these are just suggested days that you can do things, but this gives you an idea of what you're going to be tackling during the week. And then she actually gives you more detail per day. So while it's helpful to glance at the grid, you really want to jump in here and look at the details of the lesson because this is where you're going to find out about all this extra information. Not only is she telling you what you're going to be reading, but some things that your children should take away from the reading, and then some ideas on activities. This is a fossil activity, for example, and then there's some media about how fossils are formed. And then it goes on the same way, day 2, day 3. There are a lot of activities in this book, and you can decide which ones you want to take or leave, depending on your learners and what interests them. But this is how we're going to go through the whole 6 weeks. It's really going to cover the origins of the universe, the Big Bang, the start of life on Earth, and then it's going to roll quickly into some things about dinosaurs for like a quick week, week and a half, and then it's going to get mostly into humans when you get to weeks 4, 5, and 6. So this curriculum is very heavily focused on early mammals and getting into early humans, which makes it a really great way to jump into ancients because it's really focused on that. It doesn't focus as heavily on dinosaurs. So if you have a learner who really loves dinosaurs, you might want to look into bulking up that section or even comboing it with another curriculum. So if you look through, we've got all these pages on all of the weeks, and then when we get to the end here, there are a number of activity pages, and I'll show those to you here. So there's initially some notebooking words. Here's all the vocabulary words. So as you go over these each week, you have a place to write them in with the definitions. And then there's some timeline pages so that your learners can understand just the scale. And she gives you some headers. You can see some of our daughter's artwork there. So this is just some headers. You can tape these to the wall. You can use them in the binder, whatever you prefer. But this can try to give our children a sense of time, because the time scales are so massive when you're studying prehistory that it's great to do something like this that's visual. And then when we get further into the activity pages past, there's a lot of timeline work. There's some field guide pages about looking at a prehistoric creature and understanding what does it eat and its habitat and its characteristics and things, where fossils are found, some basic types of fossils, and talking about tectonic plates and faults. So there's some just different kind of coloring pages and, you know, fun activities and things that you do here. These are all called out in the weekly lesson. So you just flip back and this is really nice. So let's take a look now at some of the major books. So as we said, the Usborne Encyclopedia of World History is the main spine, which we really enjoyed. And then the main literature selection is Maru of the Winter Caves. This is a really terrific book that we thoroughly enjoyed. This is the story about a young girl in I believe the last ice age. So this was a really terrific book that our kids really identified with. We also have Junior Scientist. This is Fossils for Kids. This is all about guides to fossils and understanding more about skeletons and things. So this is really a terrific book as well. This is Life Story from Virginia Lee Burton. This has been updated, but this is helping us to try to just understand all of the different periods throughout prehistory, and that can be kind of a difficult subject to understand just because of the scale. So speaking of scale, we have How Much is a Million, which is her way of trying to help kids understand the scale of time. When we talk about millions of years, what does that mean? So this is a really good and a fun book to, help kids start thinking about scale. We really liked this book and thought this was really effective for this purpose. Then she also uses one of the Step Into Readings all about discovering the cave paintings in France. This was a really good one as well. And then this is a book all about evolution, When Whales Walked. This has got some really beautiful artwork in it, lots of information about different animals and their evolution. So this is a really terrific one. And in this same series, you'll use quite a bit is When We Became Humans. This also talks about human evolution and what we know about our ancestors and things. So these are really great books. Now, if you're interested in a deeper dive into the books, we have a whole series that we did. We actually combined two prehistory curriculums together. And we combined Build Your Libraries unit study here and the Blossom and Root Prehistory, which is a year 3 science extension, which has a lot more about dinosaurs. So we did that and we talked all in detail about all of these books. So I'll link that playlist in the show notes if you'd like to take a look and you can see more about these great books. Well, I hope that was helpful for you and your family on your homeschool journey. Overall, we think this is a really terrific unit study, especially for these young learners when you're talking about that early elementary age. There's nothing else that really covers prehistory quite as well as we've seen here. This is fun. It has some great books. You can definitely bulk it up to be more if that's what you would like, but 6 weeks is really terrific and it goes so well into the study of ancients. So if you're excited to get into early man and then those ancient civilizations of Egypt and Greece and all of that, this is a really great kind of gentle primer. If you haven't done Build Your Library before and you're going to start with ancients, I'd highly recommend that you start here because it'll just kind of ramp you up into it. I think the main drawback for us is that this doesn't have as much on dinosaurs, which our daughters were very excited about and a lot of kids are very excited about. It does cover dinosaurs, but it's not a significant portion of this in only 6 weeks. You can certainly bulk it up, but that's a piece that's a little bit less. This is a little bit less on the science as well. Obviously, there's a lot about prehistory that is science related, and while these books do cover that, there's not as much digging down into the science. This is based more in the living books, which is of course the cornerstone of Build Your Library, so we would expect that. But overall, we really enjoyed this. For $13, I don't think you can go wrong for a 6-week study, so we highly recommend this and we hope that you check it out.